we even come to tourism, I think let's touch Saudi Arabia has gone through rapid transformation as part of the Vision 2030. And with that transformation, Saudi Arabia has continued to invest in a number of industries and diversification of its industries, whether it's infrastructure, tourism, manufacturing, economy, e-commerce. So Saudi Arabia is on its transformation. A big component of that transformation is the tourism agenda, both domestic tourism, religious tourism, and international inbound tourism. And given the fact that Saudi Arabia is the largest economy in the GCC, it is a huge population in the GCC in terms of also spending power. They like to travel. So for tourism, Saudi Arabia has always been usually a source market. Now with the transformation, Saudi Arabia has also positioned itself to position itself as it prepares to achieve its longer vision of Vision 2030 to become a destination. What Saudi Arabia provides is a number of things that are not provided very easily in the region. So culture, nature, mountains, sea, resorts. Many places in the GCC do have it, but not at the scale or the uniqueness, kind of untouched lands that the rest of the region has. So I think Saudi Arabia has done an excellent job in positioning itself, as you said, and making its name known as a destination. And now it's working on building that infrastructure required to deliver the unique guest experience when visitors do come. Saudi Arabia has always been a key source market for international travel. So Saudis love to travel. During COVID, Saudis also got a chance to explore their own country, which we saw a great improvement in domestic tourism. And that has continued. Of course, as the borders opened, we saw a growth of Saudi nationals traveling internationally and regionally and to Europe, etc. But we have seen significant interest also for inbound tourism into KSA. From Europe, from China, from Russia, from a number of places. And now we have the F1 coming in December. We have the Riyadh season. So they're now and you can imagine, I think Saudi Arabia and the region in general have done a very good job in COVID, in the pandemic, and they've emerged stronger now. And this is coming to life with these events. There are very few places you can go around the world and have real tourism activities and tourism events and feel safe. And Saudi Arabia has been able to do that. So we're seeing interest. The religious tourism is still not fully open given the complexities of that, but we're still seeing a lot of interest to start coming to Saudi Arabia from our customers around the world. E-Visa launched in November 2019 as part of the opening of the borders. We see it coming. Now before we would never get a request from a European group to come to Saudi because of the visa process. Now that the Europeans can come, we're getting interest, and there's no issue, there's no concern about the visa. So that seamless processing, e-visa processing, has enabled it, and we expect now that to enable also regional travel. With the Expo 2020, for example, we expect we're seeing interest for people to come to Expo and Dubai, Expo and Riyadh, or Expo and Al Ula, which is a new and exciting kind of combined regional trip that would not have been possible without the e-visa. The borders just opened, and we know that with international travel, it takes a bit more time for people to start coming. We have some significant interest. And we have some directly to Saudi from Europe, and some regional. So let's say they go to Dubai or Expo and then Saudi, but a lot of it also directly to Saudi. So it's early signs are very positive. We have some great tours, not only in the big cities, even to explore some of the smaller cities of Saudi Arabia on the Red Sea. There's a significant amount of interest, especially from the European markets. The length of stay that we're seeing is 4 to 6 nights. Because Saudi Arabia is such a large country to explore, there's also multi-destinations within the country. So it's not just coming to one city Typically, if they're flying over from Europe, they will explore maybe Jeddah or Riyadh, and then also another city. So we've seen about 4 to 6 nights on average currently. Saudi Arabia has done an excellent job in creating entertainment and activities during the COVID period. I recently just went to Riyadh. I came back yesterday. The amount of restaurants and fine dining and cuisine that you have is top notch now. Very, very unique experiences of dining experiences, cultural experiences that were not there. And there'll be a lot of entertainment, a lot of concerts, a lot of shows, experiences that you can explore. So I think that has not been a concern from our customers, at least so far. I think the ones that are willing to come will come. Saudi Arabia has ambitious plans to develop tourism. There's a number of giga projects. You look at the resorts on the Red Sea, you look at Amala, the ultra luxury resort, you look at Al Ula, you look at Neom, like you mentioned. It's going to be a place that you will want to explore. I think that's the key. It's not just a hotel. It's going to be an experience that's not really, and it's really untouched. It's untouched, untapped area. The Red Sea resorts, Neom, it's building something from pretty much what was untouched land almost. And that's exciting. People really want to explore that. And not only that, the quality of the facilities, the quality of the service is also key. And I think that's what Saudi Arabia is investing. I think the initial resorts that are opening and experiences are targeted at a higher net worth individual, a bit more of a luxury traveler, 4 and 5 star, because that's where that's the people who would always like to come first. They explore a country first. They're seasoned travelers, and they want value for what they're willing to pay for the value. As we get closer to 2030, but there's also already significant infrastructure investments being developed for catering to slightly different or target price ranges. I give you an example. We just recently announced a resort in Al Baha, which is a mountainous area of Saudi Arabia, where we're building a 4-star mountain resort in Saudi Arabia. So it's not super luxury. It's targeted at the right price point. It's targeted both for domestic as well, but also some international. So it's a few hour drives from one of the major airports. And it'll be a mountain resort with activities, with hiking, zip lining, those type of activities that people want to explore in the mountain, especially in a very hot summer where this area doesn't have as much better weather. So the future is bright, both for the luxury price point and the luxury traveler, but also for the kind of the more economic traveler. But as we will start probably with luxury first. Saudi Arabia is not like, let's say, the rest of the region where it's a smaller city or state with limited diverse weather. But primarily travel, we believe, would be October to March. It's like the primary international travel season. I'm separating religious tourism because I think that's a year-round business. At the same time, as the infrastructure develops in some of the more mountainous areas, etc., those destinations are also summer destinations. Because in the summer, the weather is very amazing. It's a cool breeze in the region that you don't find. But typically, even in Dubai, you see Dubai is busy year round, but the winter is October to March is the much busier months. We expect that to be similar in Saudi, but there are unique experiences even in the summer that can give you great weather and great experiences along the sea, up in Neom, etc. In the near future, it's going to be more of I don't think yet it's, so domestically, so I think I'll break up the segments. So there's different segments. There's the domestic segment, which is, I think everyone is exploring, families, singles, businessmen, etc. Regionally, Saudi Arabia with things like Riyadh season is already starting to attract families coming with events and things like that. Regionally from the GCC. International from Europe or the US, we're seeing the kind of the older couples, you know, in the you know, fairly wealthy individuals, not with young children, maybe a bit older children, or, you know, it's a people who want to have adventure and explore, but a cultural experience, which is typically higher net worth individuals who have, you know, husband and wife, etc. We have a number of tourists that are female solo travelers or female groups of female friends from the region and from internationally that have come to Saudi Arabia, that have explored it and explored the nature, the beauty. The culture is very accommodating, very welcoming. I think that's a misconception, but we have a great. There's a lot of things happening in Saudi now. The dining, I told you, the restaurants, entertainment has been tailored. There's a lot of unique experiences for women that we'd never find in other parts of the world. We had a few starts and stops in Saudi Arabia with the opening. But I think there's three main themes we're seeing with Saudi Arabia, with the recent reopening in kind of recently. So the first theme is continued domestic travel. Domestic travel is still strong, exploring the culture, exploring the region as well. Secondly is regional travel. So places like Egypt, Dubai, Bahrain, they recently opened now for families as well. Significantly strong. Between domestic and regional, this accounts for approximately 65% of our destinations currently. However, there's a significant portion now that have gone to Europe, Paris, London, typical cities, and Greece, Cannes, that they would typically go to, but they missed the summer, but they're still going now because London was closed. But London recently opening has really increased traffic there. Also, we call them newer destinations, places like Ukraine, Georgia. Those places that were significantly higher this year than last year. So, or even 2019. So Ukraine, a lot of amazing cities over there that they were exploring. Unfortunately, due to the border restrictions in most of Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, there was very limited travel this year to Southeast Asia. Pre-COVID, Malaysia was definitely a hot spot for Saudis to visit, but not this year. Saudi travelers are always open to new experiences. But they also like recurring trips. So they like a destination, they'll enjoy it again. Our top destinations typically are, besides the domestic or religious destinations of Mecca and Riyadh and Jeddah, but also it's Dubai, it's Egypt, Bahrain, London. These are our top destinations. At the same time, they go and enjoy. They really, really enjoy. They're not just going there for a tour. They're going there to explore the restaurants, explore the city, shop, do some sightseeing. Sometimes when they travel with families, they're looking at some family entertainment. But and they typically have long length of stays as they go into Europe. But it's about experience and exploring the city, not necessarily a package per se, but they want to explore and shop, the freedom to roam around. Shopping is high. Beach destinations are high in the summer, like south of France or Greece, Greek islands are also very, very, very popular destinations. It's not like I've been there once, I never go again. You know, some cultures, like I want to see every country in the world and be there at once. That's not typically how this region works. And if they enjoy it, they will go there. Let's say take London. A lot of Saudi families will go every summer to London for a week or two because they really, really enjoy it and they want the great weather and they want the great food and walk around the parks, etc. Dubai is another example, Egypt. So they do explore new cities. Like I said, Ukraine, for example, has been very popular this year. but they also go back to where they consider their favorite destinations often. I think it varies by demographic segment, of course, but I think the primary is going to be the weather and the overall activities around what to do. Weather is the key driver. Activities, food. They're very social people, right? So they like to enjoy the city, enjoy restaurants and dining, things to do, whether it's with friends or with family. So, but it's varies by demographics. But in general, it's the whole trip that they enjoy. They're not one to go and sit in the room and just kind of really be social, be out, whether that's shopping, dining, walking around the city, spending time in the parks. These are all things that they love to do. I think it's important for them to be aware, but you know, there's always ways to do. You know, there's a lot of dining options in most major cities in the world. A lot of accommodating communities. It's not a sticking point. It's an informational point. It's important to help make a decision, but I think from majority of the top destinations, there's no issue with halal food. Every city in the major city in the world has it, and it hasn't become a sticking point in the decision. It's an information point that helps, but it's not the deciding factor. The GCC is typically seen for Saudis as a short weekend, like a 3-day weekend. 3-day, 4-day. So the length of stay in the GCC is obviously much less than maybe they did stay in London or Paris, for example. It's usually done it's done very frequently. They're not, they're done frequently. They're done with usually an objective. Either there's a school holiday for the families to take one day off and explore. They're coming for some events. They're coming for to check out a place. It's very easy to travel seamlessly within the region now. So we're able to see a lot of traffic within the region. The regional travel and domestic is year-round, very much a year-round thing. Europe is usually during the summer holidays or the winter. Typically is the typical time. Obviously, another destination that was very popular was Maldives. Maldives was extremely popular for us this year, and for Saudi travelers. That was probably the farthest east that the Saudis would travel this year. Back to your earlier question, and Maldives was very popular during the May, June, July period this year. The typical traveler coming to Dubai will take, for our consumer base, it's 4- or 5-star hotel, one of the major hotels in Dubai, many of the major hotels in Dubai. Some families that are larger families, they do like to take hotel apartments, whether it's in Dubai or London, etc. But typically, it's our 80% of our bookings are 4- and 5-star. From an inbound perspective, I'd like to say that Saudi didn't stop investing in tourism during COVID. Saudi Arabia, the ecosystem, the ministry, the government, and the individuals took COVID with stride. They survived. They came out of this pandemic. The economy is booming, and they're continuing to invest in tourism, and they're ready to welcome. We're ready to welcome people to Saudi Arabia, and we're getting ready. It's a long-term investment. It's a key focus. All elements of the tourism ecosystem are being prepared to welcome travelers into Saudi Arabia. The second, regarding Saudi travelers outbound, Saudis love to travel. They're passionate travelers. They are, let's say, they're not. Sorry, how do I say? They enjoy social activities. They enjoy communities, and they enjoy experiences of culture and food and shopping. And they're great tourists to have. That's what I would say for the outbound. They want safety, security, trust, and service. Regionally, it's known that Saudis are a big component of tourism in the region, whether it's Bahrain, Egypt, UAE, etc. But also regional travelers will start exploring Saudi more. And Saudi Arabia is also ready to welcome both from a religious perspective, but also from exploring the rest of Saudi Arabia. I don't think it's a cannibalization of the market. I think it's an expansion of the market. A lot of people coming to the region will still stop through any of the other hubs, whether that's Qatar, Abu Dhabi, Dubai, spend a few nights in Dubai and go to Saudi. Another example is a lot of people coming for religious tourism when the borders open for religious tourism again, used to come through. Now they might spend 2 days extra in Saudi. It doesn't mean it's a cannibalization. It's additional experiences to provide to tourists that will promote the destination, promote the region. So our opinion and our data, even for domestic tourism, there was a lot of worry that the Saudis would travel domestically and hurt international. Or when the borders open again, domestic would stop. Actually, what we're finding is they're continuing to travel domestically and internationally, which is great. So we believe that the wallet size and the overall market will increase rather than a cannibalization of the market.